Okay guys, so we showed the rear naked choke in the last video, but prior to moving forward and showing you how we're going to get on the back, we need to talk about the specific of the guard. All right, punch block 1. The guard, as you may or may not know, is primarily used for defense. Lots of cool sweeps, lots of cool submissions we have, but ultimately it's not getting our teeth knocked in. So we have a very specific way of making sure we don't get our teeth knocked in from guard. In this video, we're just going to start with what we term punch block number 1. So punch block number 1 is going to be where I can take the least amount of damage if I'm on my back. Now, if I'm on my back in a fight, if I'm forced on my back into a fight, the guard is where I want to be. I don't want to be mounted. I don't want to be stuck under him in cross body. Certainly don't want him on my back. So if I have to be on the bottom of the fight, guard is where it's at, and punch block 1 is going to be our best friend. So I'm closing the guard, locking my ankles behind his lower back. My hips are floating. My hips aren't actually on the floor, so I have a little bit of give and take, and I can use my legs to control the opponent. When he goes to throw that big first sucker punch, which is how an untrained fighter is going to punch, we're not talking MMA, I'm ramping inside of it. I'm going to show you guys a couple different blocks. So block number 1 is I'm creating like a spear, and I'm leaning actually into the punch a little bit. I'm coming up to meet my opponent. I'm going to wrap his head. My elbow chops his elbow to the floor. I hold on to his back. I could also hold on to my knee, or I could hold on to his tricep. I'll shoot this from a different angle so you guys can see it. My head will always be on the side of the arm I'm controlling. So right now, if Tyler's trying to punch my face, I'm safe. He can't get me. All right? So the first way we can block off that punch is just to create a ramp or a spear and go up after it. Right? Go right up after it. Grab the tricep. Hold the head. I'm also doing an ab crunch. My head is never on the ground. I'm weak. He's going to punch my face. I'm always ab crunching to the side of the arm that I'm blanketing and controlling. And now I'm going to be much, much safer and control his posture. He won't be able to punch me. All right. Another way for our big-bellied friends, or maybe you got a bad back and you can't really do a sit-up, you're just going to shell up, right? Kind of like a boxing shell. So as that first punch comes, I'm going to reach behind my head. My fingers are locked. My forearm is tight to my temple. My bicep is tight to my jaw. Everything is locked in here. And again, I'm going to shade away from that punch. So I'm going to absorb it and now wrap it the same way. So for you guys that have a bad back and can't really sit up, or maybe you got a big belly and you can't sit up, this block is going to be really nice. And that's the same thing, just head to head, tight, right? I'm defending against headbutts. He can't headbutt me. He can't punch me. The world is good. I'll use all of his energy to get out of here. So let's turn this way a little bit. Go this way, just so you can see that. So feet are locked, and you can see the hips are floating off the ground a little bit. This gives me a lot of ability to control him with my legs. If my legs are if my butt is on the floor, I don't have that same type of spring action in my hips. He goes to throw the punch. I can spear it, doing a little sit-up, grab the head, ab crunch, hand on the shoulder, hand on the tricep, hand on the knee, all very nice. I prefer the tricep. I think Ty prefers the tricep as well. And now ab crunch, so he can't headbutt me or punch me. I'm always controlling the head in my punch block series. For our big-bellied friends or the bad back friends, okay, lock. And this all must be tight. I want my forearm against my temple. I want my bicep against my jaw. So I'm not going like this, like karate style. That's going to come right through and smash me. This is getting glued to my head, and I'm shading away from it and coming back to get my grips on him. And now I'm safe. He can't punch my face in. What else do we need to talk about from punch block 1? Anything that's...
The importance of down. The importance of you can't really see it, but he's giving me he's not squeezing me with his legs, but he's giving me a connection. He's actually just kind of tightening them just a little bit to when he starts to move them down, I'm going to start moving with it. And I'm sitting kind of in like a jiu-jitsu samurai base. Most opponents are going to be on their toes, leaning forward, trying to attack, which is going to make it actually even easier for you to establish this position.
Yeah, for sure.
Because right now I'm sitting in like more of a jiu-jitsu fighter base where I'm nice and controlled, I'm balanced. Most guys though will be on their toes, trying to lean forward, trying to inflict damage, moving forward, trying to press the action forward.
Makes sense? So that's punch block number 1, which insinuates there's going to be a punch block 2 and so on. But we'll get to that in later videos. Punch block 1 is right now where you guys need to be living at in order to defend yourself against striking from within the guard and set up any type of offense, which is what we're going to get into in the very next video.